All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining our webinar for an overview of LocknCharge charging stations. Feel free to ask questions throughout the webinar, and we'll also have time for questions at the end. I'm Savannah Waller, and I'm a marketing coordinator here at LocknCharge. And your presenter today is Katie Short, and she's a territory manager. And with that, I'll turn it over to Katie.
Hi, like Savannah said, I'm going to be showing our charging stations this week. Last week it was our carts. So I'm going to actually start on one of our older charging stations, but still very relevant. Like Savannah said, please stop at any time if you have any questions, because I like answering them as I go. It makes it a lot easier to kind of navigate what to look at. But first and foremost, I'm going to show you our IQ10. So this obviously has a keyed lock, as you can see. Plenty of ventilation. We designed this specifically for iPads, but it actually can hold up to 11-inch tablets as long as it's got USB charging. It comes with both the baskets and the racks. So the baskets are great for deploying 5 at a time, so a quicker deployment. But if you are not interested in the baskets, the racks do come with, so you do get both. All the charging is actually at the top. And like I said, it's USB charging only. It doesn't have like a standard outlet. So tablets only fit in here. You can either keep this freestanding or you can mount it to the wall, depending on your preference. If you need to save space, it's great and easy to mount on the wall. Comes with a mounting kit. Any questions on this? I know it's really straight to the point.
That was pretty good.
Good. Yeah, it's very slick. One thing to note too, all the products you see in this room have a lifetime warranty. So the nice thing is if you purchase anything from us, if you lose, like let's say a basket or a key, you can actually follow up with our support team and they will send you a replacement. So just keep that in mind when we kind of do this round robin of products. Savannah, is there any other questions?
Katie, one is this station just for Apple tablets, or does it work for other types of tablets?
Sorry. No, we've originally designed it for iPads, but it can accommodate tablets of any brand as long as they're under 11 inches and have a USB port for charging, because that's what the charging in here is.
Cool.
Awesome. So if you're looking for iPad specific, though, I do have charging stations for specifically iPads. So I'm going to show you our Putnam 8 and 16. So these are smaller solutions for the classroom. Like let's say if you have a lot of loaner devices that you need to still charge up, or if students forget to charge, or even if you have a class size of devices. The Putnam 8 will accommodate 8 and the Putnam 16 will accommodate 16. So outside of the actual device, you can see there is a combination lock and a master override key. So you'll have either or to lock this unit. Plenty of ventilation. You can see there is light indication from the outside, so you know that the device is not fully charged. So it is red because it's under 90%. If it was green, it would be over 90%. So it's really nice as a teacher, if you're coming into a classroom, you know all of your devices are fully charged. So I'm going to open this up, and you can see there is dividers for 16 iPads. And then in terms of compatibility, we have a table on our website and the tech specs for Putnam. So if you go to LocknCharge.com specifically to Putnam 8 and 16, you can see if your iPads will work in this particular unit. One thing to note, we do know obviously iPads are changing from USB charging to USB-C. You are able to take these cables out and use USB-C charging. So you still could utilize this product as you purchase the newer iPads. It does come fully assembled, as well as it does come pre-wired. So you do get the lightning cables with the unit. Any questions about this particular unit?
Is there a unit on wheels?
Oh, sorry, say that again.
Is there a unit on wheels?
Unfortunately, this is not on wheels. So you could either mount this to the wall because it does have a mount kit, or we have a pedestal where you could stack them on top of each other if you ever wanted to.
And what was it called?
It's the Putnam 8 and 16. So there's the smaller unit that's the Putnam 8 and the Putnam 16 that accommodates 16 devices. So then, is there any other questions that come up?
Nope, I don't think so.
Okay, awesome. So because we're on the Putnams, I'm going to show you what we made for the Chromebook for the same version. So it's our Putnam 18C. And so what we found is at trade shows, teachers were like, hey, we love the Putnam 8 and 16, but do you have anything for Chromebooks? So that's why we decided to design something for Chromebooks, because it was a great charging station. Obviously, the footprint was a lot smaller than the carts, and they really loved that Putnam 8 and 16. So this is the exact same unit. The only difference is it doesn't have light indication because it's more of a universal feel. So even though it's 4 Chromebooks, you could put in smaller laptops, iPads, tablets, as long as they are under 13 inches, they'll fit in this unit. Same with it's same master override key as well as combination lock, same ventilation. It's got those divider slots, as you can see. And then all the cable management is at the side of the unit. So we took that panel off. This panel actually has a barrel lock, so you are able to lock the cables so no one can steal them. We hear teachers steal more than students. So this is something you can lock up at night. But all you'd have to do is plug into the outlet. It actually has these really cool elastic bands to keep all the cables in place. And then there's a hole to send the cable through, and then you sift it and weave it through and plug into the device. So it's really easy to cable, and it's really neat inside in terms of keeping all the cables together. So any questions regarding any of that?
So you're saying, I thought you were saying platinum, but can you spell
Putnam,
it? Like
yeah, it's actually, we designed it with a school, Putnam City School. So that's why it's called Putnam.
So can you spell that?
What was that?
Can you spell it? Like, is it
Sure.
PLU?
PUTNAM.
Oh, okay. All right, got it. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. And then because we're in this corner, we'll kind of go into another charging station that's an oldie but a goodie. It's like I said, it's still very relevant. I think even more now that students bring their devices home. A lot of schools are looking for something that is freestanding, that doesn't need to hold a classroom size, but have enough for the students that forget to charge. So our Carrier 15, and then it's our Carrier 10. It's the exact same model. The 15 obviously holds up to 15 devices. But this unit specifically does need to be mounted to the wall because it's top heavy. But as you can see, plenty of ventilation. This comes with a keyed lock. It's not on here, but it does have a keyed lock. Inside, you get the baskets that are for deploying quicker, obviously 5 at a time, and also a safer deployment because the students aren't holding them all to get all out for their groups. But comes with the baskets or a rack solution. So if you don't like the baskets, you would get the rack solution. All the cable management's at the top. So when this door's shut, this lid can't be opened, so people cannot get the cables. So just an FYI. But so all the cable management's at the top. So you would actually just plug in your bricks at the top, and this rubber gripper lifts off, and then you would sift your cords to where you want it to go. So over the top of the device. Any questions on any of that?
Yeah, Katie, would laptops and tablets fit in this station? And could you possibly like mix and match, like half laptops, half tablets?
As long as they have a standard outlet plug-in, they can. So in terms of devices that fit in the baskets, it's up to 13.1 inches. If they're over, the rack solution will accommodate that. A lot of times laptops are now like under 15 inches, and the rack solution would be able to fit that. One thing too, which is a kind of cool about this solution, let's say you might not even have devices that you want to charge. Maybe you have like esports gaming systems, or even like camera equipment you want to charge. You can take all these baskets out, and it's an open box concept. So you could basically charge anything you needed and have it be like a charge box for certain things. So it doesn't necessarily have to be specific to laptops, Chromebooks, or iPads. It can be kind of anything, which is really cool. Any other questions on the Carrier 15 and 10? All right, so the last and the largest charging station we have is our Rev 32. And this is obviously looks a lot different than before. You can see there's like a cycle charge on here. So this is similar to our carts because it can accommodate up to 32 devices. You are able to charge in increments of 1 to 3 hours or all at once if you need be. It also has a combination lock like our carts. So it's a heavy duty lock. This is actually half the size of a cart. So if you don't need mobility, but you need charging, let's say over the summer for those devices that the students normally bring home, this is great for that. So we see a lot of these in tech labs or media centers. So inside you can see there is 2 rows of 16 with racks in each. So you're able to charge up to 32 devices if need be. All the cable management's actually at the top shelves of each shelf. So I don't know if you can see Jen. Sorry, you might have to like come in. But all the cables are, like I said, are on the top of the shelf. So the power strips are above, and you'd plug in, and there are holes that you would put the cable through. So you'd put two at a time to plug in over the top. And then the rack solution also comes out of this. So similar to that Carrier 10 design with that open space, you could charge other things than just devices. You could, like I said, you could do esports, you could do camera equipment. And then in terms of the charging is on the bottom level. It's actually under the top shelf that you would plug into and go over the top. So there's these can accommodate like obviously larger devices because it's got that rack solution, but anything would really fit in here. It's kind of a universal charging solution. One thing to note is it's half the size of a cart. So in terms of footprint, it's not going to take up a ton of classroom space because we know classroom space is a commodity. Any questions on this unit, the Rev 32?
Did you say, is there a coaster option? Like is there an on wheels option for that, or is it just stationary?
It's just stationary. So the whole point was kind of a lot of schools are kind of moving from the mobility piece because they're not sharing devices anymore. So they needed something more that would just stay within like the tech lab or media specialist, whether it's just loaner devices that students come in and check out. That's the main reason is they wanted something that actually would stay within the classroom. And like I said previously too, like every product you saw here, lifetime warranty. So you would never have to kind of worry about if something were to happen. Like if it's within our warranty, we will replace any part that needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
Is there
and Andrew, we do have our cart solutions that are on wheels, but all of our charging station solutions are either stationary or wall mountable, but do not come with wheels. So
yeah, I was thinking that I like your mention of the esports or kind of other uses. Like for instance, we have drone programs.
Yep. We see like that a lot too. And even if you have any of our old carts, you could take the baskets out and use it, the same in terms of that, because it's an open box concept. All of our baskets come out. You're able to put those devices in, so you could utilize it for other things, which I think a lot of people forget that you could do that, because it's got that open box concept, but we don't have a lot of the carts don't have the divider. So you are able to kind of use it for whatever you need it for.
Yeah, I just like that the idea made me think of other things besides laptops and iPads and tablets that need to be charged, and the drones is one of those kind of things that wouldn't necessarily fit in a laptop slot, but could benefit from a cart. And yeah, you could use your cart for that. That's a good idea.
Yeah, and like we have schools that are using Spheros too, like those like little robotic robots.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Even those cases could go in the cart in charge. So that's another idea too for future proof design. That's kind of the nice thing about these open box concepts. Is there any other questions?
Katie, I thought of one more.
Sure.
Do our stations come assembled, or is there any like assembly required with any of them?
Yeah, so all of our stations come fully assembled. So unlike our carts, like with the Joey model and the Epic model, where you have to put the wheels and the handles on, all of these come fully assembled. You just have to supply your cables besides the Putnam 8 and 16s. They come pre-cabled, but everything else you'd have to cable them.
Okay. Any other questions?
Is that's a Fuelie Tower next to you, right?
Yeah, that's our next week webinar, but if
Okay.
you have questions regarding, I'd be happy to answer them right now.
I see that one has a little bit of a different top on it than the ones we have. It's got some switching up there.
Oh,
One thing I kind of liked was
yeah, so this is our network kit. So it's designed for like the network switch. It doesn't come with the switch. It's just the box to house the cables.
the one unit.
You're
Yeah,
able to do hardwired updates in each bay.
that's a good idea. One of the things I kind of liked, one of the early carts you showed was there was the plugs were kind of in the side of the cart and they were kind of hidden, and then you pass the actual charger into the bay itself. I wish the Fuelie Towers had something like that where like
Oh, sure. Yeah. I know what you're
that.
talking about. So they wouldn't be able to access the cables. Is that what you mean?
Right. So they couldn't pull a charger out basically.
Yeah. So that they have kind of like a locked bay for those cables. I know. I'm hoping in the next couple iterations they will, because that is definitely something that comes up. But one thing to note, and I'm sure I probably already mentioned this before to you, is that a lot of schools zip tie them to the back where the ventilation is.
Yeah.
The cable.
We actually we bought splitter cords and kind of integrated into the side. So there's
sure.
there's no real plugs in the side of it, but if you buy a C14 to a regular outlet, like a splitter, you can kind of hang a power adapter back there or a surge repressor back there and tie everything up back there and pass the cords through.
Yeah, no, that's actually a really good idea. For the next iteration, the USB-C, it's this for this one, sorry. The next iteration, there will be like a lockdown now, I guess.
We have one now. Just for the USB ports. So the USB-A ports inside you can purchase now. It just rolled out last week.
This is why I'm like shocked with you. This is how marketing is. They know the secrets before we do.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there is apparently.
But it doesn't lock down the actual power outlets that you're talking about, but it does lock down the USB port. If you want to open the door, we can show it.
It basically provides USB port in the bay, right? I saw there's like a square hole that looks like.
Yeah. So now if you put cables in there, there's two different, we call them retention kits. So there's one for tablets, and then there's one for like Apple specific products that you can put inside. And once you buy it, it's kind of a little, so you plug your cord in and you can see these little screws here.
Yeah.
It fits over and screws into there, so people can't take that particular cable out. It doesn't help if you're using the outlet, but for that one, we do have those available for this unit right now.
Maybe I go right now. Yeah. You're right. I think get off. So thanks a lot. This has been great.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Andrew.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
I appreciate all the questions. I like that. Thank you very much. Bye. All right. I think that wraps everything up.
Yeah. Yep.
Are you going to stop the recording when we hit the fuel?
Yeah. And I'll just, yep. And as a reminder, we do have another webinar on April 20th, and that's an overview of our fuel tower smart lockers. And if you haven't registered for that, just let me know and I can forward you the invite. And just thanks again to everyone for joining us today.
Thank you. Have a good day.